Section 20. Red Dog, Part 1. For our white and our excellent nights, for the nights of swift running, fair ranging, far seeing, good hunting, sure cunning, for the smells of the dawning, untainted, ere dew has departed, for the rush through the mist, and the quarry blind started, for the cry of our mates when the sambar has wheeled and it's standing at bay, for the risk and the riot of night, for the sleep at the lair mouth by day, it is met and we go to fight. Bay, oh bay. It was after the letting in of the jungle that the pleasantest part of Mowgli's life began. He had the good conscience that comes from paying debts. All the jungle was his friend, and just a little afraid of him. The things that he did and saw and heard when he was wandering from one people to another, with or without his four companions, would make many, many stories, each as long as this one. So you will never be told how he met the mad elephant of Mandla, who killed 22 bullocks drawing 11 carts of coined silver to the government treasury, and scattered the shiny rupees in the dust; how he fought Jacala, the crocodile, all one long night in the marshes of the north, and broke his skinning knife on the brute's back plates; how he found a new and longer knife round the neck of a man who had been killed by a wild boar, and how he tracked that boar and killed him as a fair price for the knife; how he was caught up once in the great famine by the moving of the deer, and nearly crushed to death in the swaying hot herds; how he saved Hathi the Silent from being once more trapped in a pit with a stake at the bottom; and how, next day, he himself fell into a very cunning leopard trap; and how Hathi broke the thick wooden bars to pieces above him; how he milked the wild buffaloes in the swamp, and how— But we must tell one tale at a time. Father and Mother Wolf died, and Mowgli rolled a big boulder against the mouth of their cave, and cried the death song over them. Baloo grew very old and stiff, and even Bagheera, whose nerves were steel and whose muscles were iron, was a shade slower on the kill than he had been. Akela turned from grey to milky white with pure age; his ribs stuck out, and he walked as though he had been made of wood, and Mowgli killed for him. But the young wolves, the children of the disbanded Seeonee pack, throve and increased, and when there were about 40 of them, masterless, full-voiced, clean-footed 5-year-olds, Akela told them that they ought to gather themselves together and follow the law, and run under the head as befitted the free people. This was not a question in which Mowgli concerned himself, for, as he said, he had eaten sour fruit, and he knew the tree it hung from; but when Phao, son of Poona, his father was the grey tracker in the days of Akela's headship, fought his way to the leadership of the pack, according to the jungle law, and the old calls and songs began to ring under the stars once more, Mowgli came to the Council Rock for memory's sake. When he chose to speak, the pack waited till he had finished, and he sat at Akela's side on the rock above Phao. Those were days of good hunting and good sleeping. No stranger cared to break into the jungles that belonged to Mowgli's people, as they called the pack, and the young wolves grew fat and strong, and there were many cubs to bring to the looking over. Mowgli always attended a looking over, remembering the night when a black panther brought a naked brown baby into the pack, and the long call, "Look! Look well, O wolves, made his heart flutter. Otherwise, he would be far away in the jungle with his four brothers, tasting, touching, seeing, and feeling new things. One twilight, when he was trotting leisurely across the ranges to give Akela the half of a buck that he had killed, while the four jogged behind him, sparring a little, and tumbling one another over for joy of being alive, he heard a cry that had never been heard since the bad days of Shere Khan. It was what they called in the jungle the pheeal, a hideous kind of shriek that the jackal gives when he is hunting behind a tiger, or when there is a big killing afoot. If you can imagine a mixture of hate, triumph, fear, and despair, with a kind of leer running through it, you will get some notion of the pheeal that rose and sank and wavered and quavered far away across the Waingunga. The four stopped at once, bristling and growling. Mowgli's hand went to his knife, and he checked the blood in his face. His eyebrows knotted. "There is no striped one dare kill here," he said. "That is not the cry of the Forerunner," answered Grey Brother. "It is some great killing. Listen!" It broke out again, half sobbing and half chuckling, just as though the jackal had soft human lips. Then Mowgli drew deep breath, and ran to the Council Rock, overtaking on his way hurrying wolves of the pack. Phao and Akela were on the rock together, and below them, every nerve strained, sat the others. The mothers and the cubs were cantering off to their lairs, for when the pheeal cries it is no time for weak things to be abroad. They could hear nothing except the Waingunga rushing and gurgling in the dark, and the light evening winds above the tree tops, till suddenly across the river a wolf called. It was no wolf of the pack, for they were all at the rock. The note changed to a long, despairing bay, and "Dhole," it said. "Dhole, dhole, dhole." They heard tired feet on the rocks, and a gaunt wolf, streaked with red on his flanks, his right forepaw useless, and his jaws white with foam, flung himself into the circle and lay gasping at Mowgli's feet. "Good hunting! Under whose headship?" said Phao gravely. "Good hunting! Won tolla am I," was the answer. He meant that he was a solitary wolf, fending for himself, his mate, and his cubs in some lonely lair, as they do many wolves in the south. Won tolla means an outlier, one who lies out from any pack. Then he panted, and they could see his heart-beats shake him backward and forward. "What moves?" said Phao, for that is the question all the Jungle asks after the pheeal cries. "The dhole of the Dekkan Red Dog, the killer." They came north from the south, saying that Dekkan was empty and killing out by the way. When this moon was new there was 4 to me, my mate and 3 cubs. She would teach them to kill on the grass plains, hiding to drive the buck, as we do who are of the open. At midnight I heard them together, full tongue on the trail. At the dawn wind I found them stiff in the grass. 4 free people, 4 when this moon was new. Then sought I my blood right, and found the dhole. "How many?" said Mowgli quickly. The pack growled deep in their throats. "I do not know. 3 of them will kill no more, but at the last they drove me like the buck. On my 3 legs they drove me. Look, free people." He thrust out his mangled forefoot, all dark with dried blood. There were cruel bites low down on his side, and his throat was torn and worried. "Eat," said Akela, rising up from the meat Mowgli had brought him, and the Outlier flung himself on it. "This shall be no loss," he said humbly, when he had taken off the first edge of his hunger. "Give me a little strength, Free People, and I also will kill. My lair is empty. That was full when this moon was new, and the blood debt is not all paid." Phao heard his teeth crack on a haunch bone and grunted approvingly. "We shall need those jaws," said he. "Were there cubs with the dhole?" "Nay, nay, red hunters all, grown dogs of their pack, heavy and strong for all that they eat lizards in the Dekkan." What Won tolla had said meant that the dhole, the red hunting dog of the Dekkan, was moving to kill, and the pack knew well that even the tiger will surrender a new kill to the dhole. They drive straight through the jungle, and what they meet they pull down and tear to pieces. Though they are not as big nor half as cunning as the wolf, they are very strong and very numerous. The dhole, for instance, do not begin to call themselves a pack till they are 100 strong, whereas 40 wolves make a very fair pack indeed. Mowgli's wanderings had taken him to the edge of the high grassy downs of the Dekkan, and he had seen the fearless dholes sleeping and playing and scratching themselves in the little hollows and tussocks that they used for lairs. He despised and hated them because they did not smell like the Free People, because they did not live in caves, and, above all, because they had hair between their toes, while he and his friends were clean-footed. But he knew, for Hathi had told him, what a terrible thing a dhole hunting pack was. Even Hathi moves aside from their line, and until they are killed, or till game is scarce, they will go forward. Akela knew something of the dholes too, for he said to Mowgli quietly, "It is better to die in a full pack than leaderless and alone. This is good hunting, and my last. But, as men live, thou hast very many more nights and days, little brother. Go north and lie down, and if any live after the dhole has gone by, he shall bring their word of the fight." "Ah," said Mowgli, quite gravely, "must I go to the marshes and catch little fish and sleep in a tree, or must I ask help of the Bandar log and crack nuts, while the pack fight below?" "It is to the death," said Akela. "Thou hast never met the dhole, the Red Killer, even the Striped one." "Awa, awa," said Mowgli pettingly. "I have killed one striped ape, and sure am I in my stomach that Shere Khan would have left his own mate for meat to the dhole if he had winded a pack across 3 ranges. Listen now. There was a wolf, my father, and there was a wolf, my mother, and there was an old grey wolf. Not too wise, he is white now, was my father and my mother. Therefore I," he raised his voice, "I say that when the dhole come, and if the dhole come, Mowgli and the Free People are of one skin for that hunting, and I say, by the bull that bought me, by the bull Bagheera paid for me in the old days which ye of the Pack do not remember, I say that the trees and the river may hear and hold fast if I forget. I say that this my knife shall be as a tooth to the Pack, and I do not think it is so blunt. This is my word which has gone from me." "Thou dost not know the dhole, man with a wolf's tongue," said Won tolla. "I look only to clear the blood debt against them, They have me in many pieces. They move slowly, killing out as they go. But in 2 days a little strength will come back to me, and I turn again for the blood debt. But for ye, free people, my word is that you go north and eat but little for a while, till the dhole are gone. There is no meat in this hunting." "Hear the outlier," said Mowgli with a laugh. "Free people, we must go north and dig lizards and rats from the bank, lest by any chance we meet the dhole. He must kill out our hunting grounds, while we lie hid in the north till it please him to give us our own again. He is a dog, and the pup of a dog, red, yellow-bellied, leerless, and haired between every toe. He counts his cubs 6 and 8 at the litter, as though he were Chikai, the little leaping rat. Surely we must run away, free people, and beg leave of the peoples of the north for the offal of dead cattle. Ye know the saying, north are the vermin, south are the lice, we are the jungle. Choose ye, oh choose! It is a good hunting, for the pack, for the full pack, for the lair and the litter, for the in-kill and the out-kill, for the mate that drives the doe, and the little cub within the cave. It is met, it is met, it is met!" The pack answered with one deep, crashing bark that sounded in the night like a big tree falling. "It is met!" they cried. "Stay with these," said Mowgli to the 4. "We shall need every tooth. Phao and Akela must make ready the battle. I go to count the dogs." "It is death!" Won tolla cried, half rising. "What can such a hairless one do against the red dog? Even the striped one, remember." "Thou art indeed an outlier," Mowgli called back. "But we will speak when the dholes are dead. Good hunting all." He hurried off into the darkness, wild with excitement, hardly looking where he set foot, and the natural consequence was that he tripped full length over Kaa's great coils, where the python lay watching a deer path near the river. "Kissa," said Kaa angrily, "is this jungle work? To stamp and tramp and undo a night's hunting, when the game are moving so well too?" "The fault was mine," said Mowgli, picking himself up. "Indeed I was seeking thee, Flathead, but each time we meet thou art longer and broader by the length of my arm. There is none like thee in the Jungle, wise, old, strong, and most beautiful Kaa. Now whither does this trail lead?" Kaa's voice was gentler. "Not a moon since there was a manling with a knife threw stones at my head and called me bad little tree cat names because I lay asleep in the open. Ay, and turned every driven deer to all the winds. And Mowgli was hunting, and this same Flathead was too deaf to hear his whistle and leave the deer roads free." Mowgli answered composedly, sitting down among the painted coils. "Now this same manling comes with soft, tickling words to this same Flathead, telling him that he is wise and strong and beautiful. And this same old Flathead believes and makes a place, thus, for this same stone throwing manling, and thou art at ease now. Could Bagheera give thee so good a resting place?" Kaa had, as usual, made a sort of soft half hammock of himself under Mowgli's weight. The boy reached out in the darkness, and gathered the supple cable-like neck till Kaa's head rested on his shoulder, and then he told him all that had happened in the Jungle that night. "Wise I may be," said Kaa at the end, "but deaf I surely am, else I should have heard the pheeal. Small wonder the eaters of the grass are uneasy. How many be the dhole?" "I have not yet seen. I came hotfoot to thee. Thou art older than Hathi. But, oh Kaa!" Here Mowgli wriggled with sheer joy. "It will be good hunting. Few of us will see another moon. Dost thou strike in this? Remember thou art a man, and remember what pack cast thee out. Let the wolf look to the dog. Thou art a man." "Last year's nuts are this year's black earth," said Mowgli. "It is true that I am a man, but it is in my stomach that this night I have said that I am a wolf. I call the river and the trees to remember. I am of the Free People, Kaa, till the dhole has gone by." "Free People," Kaa grunted. "Free thieves! And thou hast tied thyself into the death knot for the sake of the memory of the dead wolves. This is no good hunting." "It is my word which I have spoken. The trees know, the river knows. Till the dhole have gone by my word comes not back to me. Nexh! This changes all trails. I had thought to take thee away with me to the northern marshes, but the word, even the word of a little, naked, hairless manling, is the word. Now I, Kaa, say, think well, Flathead, lest thou tie thyself into the death knot also. I need no word from thee, for well I know." "Be it so then," said Kaa. "I will give no word. But what is in thy stomach to do when the dhole come?" "They must swim the Waingunga. I thought to meet them with my knife in the shallows, the pack behind me, and so stabbing and thrusting, we a little might turn them down stream, or cool their throats." "The dhole do not turn and their throats are hot," said Kaa. "There will be neither manling nor wolf cub when that hunting is done, but only dry bones. Alala! If we die, we die. It will be most good hunting, but my stomach is young, and I have not seen many rains. I am not wise nor strong. Hast thou a better plan, Kaa?" "I have seen 100 rains. Hathi cast his milk tushes my trail was big in the dust. By the first egg I am older than many trees, and I have seen all that the Jungle has done. But this is new hunting," said Mowgli. "Never before have the dhole crossed our trail. What is has been. What will be is no more than a forgotten year striking backward. Be still while I count those my years."